Hey everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night phone call. This is a special call that we're doing. We've named it Cocktails and Dreams because we really want to focus on the hospitality industry and what's possible for those that think that they're in a career that might not be leading exactly where to the life that they're looking for. So we've got the amazing Ciji Siddons who's here with us this evening, and she is a true success story. I've done my homework, so I'm gonna say a little bit about Ciji that I learned. And the first thing I have to say is, first of all, she's from New Jersey, so she was a waitress and a bartender up in New Jersey. And I have it here that you went to college for 8 days. Is that right? You went to college for 8 days, and then
I went to one of my colleges. Great.
And now she has a master's degree. Now she has a master's degree in nutrition and food service. But I love that because I've started a couple of things where I knew immediately it wasn't the right thing for me. So I respect that. And she's been in Isogenics for 6 years. She became an Isogenics millionaire at age 31. How crazy is that? 31 years old, and she became an Isogenics millionaire. Basically, when she found Isogenics, I wrote this down. It said that you were miserable, broken, and that you were a waitress and bartender in New Jersey. 6 years later, she's now an Isogenics millionaire. She's setting records. She's won fabulous vacations. She has inspired many. She's motivated many. And we're just so excited to have you on the call with us to share your story with us. And thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. So the first question I have for you is, how old were you when you started bartending? And tell us a little bit about the college and how you knew it wasn't right for you, that situation.
I started waitressing at like 15. Obviously, I couldn't serve liquor at that point. So it was in an establishment that didn't have a liquor license or anything. So 15 when I started waitressing, probably like in my 20s when I started bartending, but it was what I did. I mean, it's how I paid all of my bills basically until I found Isogenics. And when I initially went to college right out of high school, I was one of those people that insisted on going away to college because I thought that was cool. And I didn't know what I wanted to study, but I had grown up with a father who has been such an amazing role model. And he's never in his life said, I don't want to go to work today. So I had this just amazing vision of what life should be. And he was a principal. So I was always surrounded by the education world. So I was like, okay, I'll go to college and I'll be a phys ed teacher. And like you said, I lasted 8 days until I left in my geo tracker crying and told my dad I was coming home because it just didn't feel right. And he was not thrilled with me in that moment because he didn't understand my logic of like, it just doesn't feel right. But it was the best decision I could have made because then I went to a local school and found my way better and found myself before I threw myself into something that I just knew wasn't working for me.
Great. And so I wrote that, when you found this nutritional program, you were working as a waitress and a bartender, but it said that you were broken. Tell us about that time. And what I would love to know, and I think what Adam would love to know is, what did the person who introduced you to Isogenics, what did they say to you? How did they say, look at this nutrition? And, what was it? What was it that clicked for you?
It's a really funny question because it probably is not going to be as like enlightening as you would like it to be. But I was introduced to Isogenics when I was 26 years old, and it actually happened behind the bar. I waitressed and bartended at a place called Jimbo's on the Jersey Shore, which I always say to people, if you've ever seen that show, that was on MTV. That's exactly the boardwalk I worked in. We dealt with them all the time. And it was just a casual bar shift one day. I bartended with someone who is very well known in Isogenics. Her name is Tara Romano. And she was brand new in Isogenics. And I knew that this girl that I bartended with, who we were friendly, also taught fitness classes. And it was a super casual conversation where I just said to her, hey, what's a good protein shake to drink? Like, what's something I can make in the morning because I'm just looking for something convenient. I don't want to have to make breakfast. And she said to me, I have a great idea. Why don't you get on the phone with my sister and she could tell you all about it? And I thought that was really weird at first. I didn't understand why she didn't want to give me the name of it. I didn't know that she had a sister at the time. The whole thing was just really bizarre to me, but I wanted to know what it was. So I got on the phone with her sister, who, if anyone's been in Isogenics for more than 5 minutes, you've probably heard the name Alexis Romano. And at the time, Alexis was a high school guidance counselor in Jersey City. And she told me all about this 30-day program that I was going to do, and I was going to love it. And because I'm a really easy sell. And she said I was going to feel amazing. I just believed her and I ordered it. I didn't ask any questions about giving my credit card or anything. It wasn't a big deal. And I honestly didn't understand network marketing. I didn't know it was a thing. And I actually said to Tara, like 2 weeks into my program, I said, your sister's so amazing. She answers all of my questions. Like, should I send her a check for her time? Because she's been so helpful. And Tara's like, no, you don't have to send her a check. She gets paid. You're fine. And that was really how I was introduced to Isagenix. I didn't really look at the business for another 2 years. Wow. I was in love with the products. I never went off auto ship where it says in your back office, this is not a qualifying order. I didn't know what that meant, but I didn't like when it said that. So I always made sure I had a qualifying order because I didn't know what would happen. And it was when I was 28 years old and I was really unhappy waitressing and bartending. I had gone to college, the Fashion Institute of Technology. I got my degree in advertising and marketing communications. And I really thought that I was going to be a hot commodity on the job market. But I realized very quickly that I had zero interest in actually looking for a job and working a 9 to 5 and having a boss and a commute and everything that went along with that. And I didn't really know where to go or what to do. But I knew that at 28 years old, I was so miserable and so unhappy bartending that I couldn't make it much longer. And that's when I made the decision to actually go to grad school, get my master's degree in nutrition education. And my plan was just to buy myself some time to figure out what I really wanted to do. And that's when I reached out to Tara and Alexis again. And I said, okay, you guys told me there's an opportunity here to get my products paid for. Because if I can't work 60 to 80 hours behind the bar anymore, I'm going to be in school full time. I'm not willing to sacrifice my nutrition. So tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. And Alexis said, you have to go to this event. It's called Isagenix University. It's on a Friday and a Saturday. And I thought that she was making a very aggressive request on my time because anyone that's worked in a restaurant knows that you make your money on Fridays and Saturdays. But I also didn't know it was a choice and that I could say to her, no, I'm not going. And because I really wanted to learn how to make the $400 a month, which was my goal, I went. And it was, at least for me, there that I watched people stand up and make these declarations of where they were going to be in their business in 6 months, 12 months, 1 year, 2 years. And I'll never forget looking at Alexis and saying to her, like, okay, wait a minute, this is real. And I can do this and I don't have to get a job after grad school. You're telling me this can be my income. And I'll never forget, she rolled her eyes at me and she was like, well, yeah, duh, why do you think we're here? And that was when I really caught the vision of what this could be for me, as opposed to I just thought we were all trying to earn free shakes. And I didn't see the bigger picture until I got myself to an event.
Wow. I loved so many things that you just said there. I mean, you didn't do it immediately. You didn't catch on fire immediately. You took your time. You were a product user. I love that you kept using your products and you didn't like that when it said it wasn't a qualifying order. I'm going to have to use that. Like, doesn't it bother you when it doesn't say it's a qualifying order? But yeah. And what I've read about you, when I was looking at your story is that, it's genuine, it's real, and you actually asked Tara about the product. So that's interesting. And obviously, we all believe that the events are the most powerful tool that Isagenix has. Get people to an event, and clearly, your work is done. That you just see the vision and you see the testimonials. And so I love that. And we've brought people to events. Adam's, I know he's working really hard. It's going to be interesting because in Ocean City where Adam works, their bar's only open for 6 months out of the year, and Isagenix Celebration is right there smack dab in the middle of that. So, but we will create the value. But so for the people that he's bringing to the events, you went to the event, you caught the vision. Now what? What did you do when you got home? How did you take it to the next level? What did you do?
I just want to piggyback on that really quickly because the bar that I worked at too, we were open 6 months out of the year. It was very seasonal. And I hated having to miss work to go, but I would have hated even more knowing that people were there and experiencing that fear of missing out if I didn't make it work. And honestly, anyone that works in a bar knows, you can just pick up shifts. You work extra hours. So I worked doubles leading up to the event, but then I could go to the event with the same amount of money in my pocket as I would have had I just kept consistently working. So I just wanted to say that. Right. And then what did I do when I got home from the event? I got to work. I didn't have a lot of junk about network marketing. I didn't have a lot of belief in myself necessarily, but I was willing enough to trust the process. And Alexa said, you're going to make a list. You're going to reach out to these people. You're going to set up 3-way calls. And so that's what I did, because I didn't know, I didn't have any other plan. And I just felt like, all right, well, let me follow this person that's telling me what to do. I had no idea how successful she was at the time, but I just felt like I don't have a better idea than that. So if this is what someone who is successful is telling me to do, this is what I'm going to do. And it was horrifying at first. I remember like my palms sweating, my very first 3-way call, thinking I was going to vomit on myself, but everything got easier as I kept going. And I did build on social media a lot, but I got people on the phone always, because social media can, I think, only take you so far. And I was doing this really not to like make myself sound like a trailblazer or anything, but when I started, it was before anyone that I knew was building any kind of network marketing business. Whereas I feel like now there are people building a network marketing business. And for me, it was, I went first in my like demographic and in my high school and in my network. So there was a lot of like, what is she doing? This is so weird. Whereas now I almost feel like it's accepted when people are doing something like this in a really big way. So I actually love that I went so early, because I dealt with a lot of the backlash and a lot of like CG so weird type of stuff, but I didn't care because I really wanted to make $400 a month. That was like initially my goal. And then from there it was like, how am I going to get myself out of the bar? What do I have to do? And I literally would have stood in traffic if Alexis told me to, that it was going to get me to my goal. I would have done anything she said, because again, I didn't know what I was doing. It was brand new to me. And there's people who have gone before me who are willing to tell me exactly what they did. Why wouldn't I listen to that?
Right. So I know that getting people on the phone is so important. And I know that you guys follow the 10-4-1 social media posting. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that came into the success in your business as well?
For sure. We've been following the 10-4-1 now for, I guess, like 4 years. We actually learned it from, his name is Kurt Molly, who's a social media expert, so I certainly can't take credit for it. And it's just basically a way to expose people to isogenics in a way that's not vomiting all over them. Because in the beginning, we didn't have any kind of social media system. And it was a lot of, I can only speak for myself, but trying to be who I thought I had to be, because I was in isogenics, and trying to tell people that you're toxic and you're digging your grave with a knife and fork, and thinking I had to be this expert on nutrition, which is not at all who I want to be. That's not even remotely fun to me. We were really exposed and trained on what this 10-4-1 looks like, and understanding that 10 of your posts over the course of the week are essentially not at all about isogenics, and you can be yourself, and you can be funny, you can have your personality, you can be inspiring, and then slowly dripping on people with your 4 posts, like a casual before and after picture or a great text message or something somewhat related to isogenics without being in people's face 24/7, literally throwing up all over them. And then the one post for us is just the celebration of someone in isogenics who's creating some kind of amazing success. And what it's done for us truly is it's created a culture, because again, like I always look at Alexis, and it would not be exciting if Alexis was the only one that was successful and all Alexis ever did was shout herself out on Facebook. Nobody really cares. What's really powerful that we've noticed as a team is, one, we all do this system across the board. So we use our own personality, but every single one of us is posting at a peak time. We're posting within this algorithm, and we're celebrating each other constantly. And I think what people see is what we're doing differently is we've created a culture that people want to be a part of. And they don't totally understand what it is all the time. I still get messages of like, what is it that you do? But they want to be a part of it because it's fun and it's exciting, and we're passionate and we're supportive of each other. And there's so many people creating success on all different levels. It's not just about like this person got a massive bonus, but really showing the lifestyle and the time freedom and the choice that people have. Because at the end of the day, the money is amazing, but what the money provides is choice. And I think that that connects with people so much more than throwing out numbers or flashy cars or anything like that.
I agree. And I think that, we've all done the trainings, we've all been in the events, well, all of us that are on the call right now. And it is about the community. It is about celebrating other people. I mean, we do it all the time on our team, and it feels so good. It feels so good and you're celebrating product, testimonials. You're celebrating business testimonials. You're celebrating people when they win awards. And it really is so powerful in the community that we create. So I'm glad that you touched on that. So the next question I have is, and we're gonna, I know that we're gonna wrap up here in a couple minutes, but when did you pop? You know what I mean? Like you said, you started and you were going for $400 a month and you're going for that free product. When did it, how long did it take you to, first of all, hit that 400 probably within the first couple of weeks, right? And then, when did it become an income that, I like to say, when did it become an income that you couldn't ignore?
I could help people get started on the product. That wasn't challenging to me because I was really excited about it. It made sense to me. I didn't understand how people weren't using it. So enrolling people, getting the product introduction bonuses, that, I don't want to say it came naturally, but it came relatively naturally for someone who especially didn't have a big network and wasn't super outgoing. But in terms of building a team, it took me about 14 months before I had my first serious qualified person to build a business with me. So 14 months of going to events by myself, of really, I had Tara and Alexis, of course, but in terms of my own organization, it didn't exist. But it was in those 14 months of getting on the training calls, going to events, taking the action all by myself that I really learned how to work with someone when someone did raise their hand and say, okay, I'm 100% in and I'm willing to do whatever you say. And I think that's important because I think sometimes people get to like 3 weeks in and they can't understand why they don't have a massive team wanting to follow them. And I always say, like, you have to do all of this stuff before anyone's following you, because that way when that person shows up that is ready to follow, you can tell them how much you've been willing to work when they're going through that same struggle. So really it took me 14 months before I had my first serious person, and she's now the highest earner in my organization. She's a girl I went to high school with. She was actually someone that I had enrolled probably a year earlier on the products and wanted nothing to do with the opportunity, but always stayed on autoship, loved the products. And it was in my consistency with reaching out to her, with asking for referrals, with just continuing to take action, whether or not she said yes or no, that she finally hit a point where she was unhappy enough in what she was doing that she was ready to join me. And when did it become an income I couldn't ignore? It's a tough question. Like, I was grateful for the income right off the bat, right? Like, at the end of my first year, I was earning, I certainly was not setting the world on fire at that point. I was getting my products paid for, but certainly not enough to really create a livable income. And I would say I went to an event that December, a Breakthroughs event, that really helped me make a lot of shifts in my business. And then I went years immediately after that with Alexis Romano and started to have some more breakthroughs. And it was in that February, I'll never forget the timeline of February 2013, I went 1-star. March 2013, I went 2-star. June, I went 3-star. August, I went 4-star. And then the following January, I went 5-star. March, 6-star. And like by June, I was maxed out. So when it happened, it did happen fast. But at the same time, those 14 months of, there was nothing really happening except I was getting a lot of product introduction bonuses. Didn't feel like it went as fast as it did, if that makes sense.
Well, I love that. You've touched on so many things that I really want to, focus on. And first of all is that, while you were those 14 months, you were building a solid foundation, like you said, so that when people had their hand raised, you were ready to go with it. And I think that for the people that we're going to be, sharing this video with, and the people that we're talking to, it's nice to know that you can make this income while you're doing your job, right? And so nobody has to give up anything in order to start doing this. It's not an and or. It's not an or game. It's an and. I can do this and do this. And while you're learning and growing, and I also know that personal growth is a huge benefit that you focus on in your business, and something that you've been grateful for throughout. And I know that's something that our team focuses on as well. But I want people to know that it's 14 months, but it's 14 months that you were making an income. You may not have replaced your income, but you were making a nice income in those 14 months while you were growing. And then boom, pop, all of a sudden, explosion. Six-star, 4-star, 6-star, that's, mid six-figure income, and, nothing for anyone to sneeze at, obviously. So, I love your story. I love your story because sometimes it's hard to relate when people come in and they're automatically successful and they're, they are making 6 figures within their first 6 months. And, you can do it too. You basically are telling us that, you started, you were skeptical, you asked about a protein shake, you didn't want to do the business for 2 years. Finally, you wanted to take a look at it because you realized that it was something that you could do and not necessarily have to go do an 60 to 80-hour job. Took you a while to ramp up, and then you ran with it. So much great information in there. And I can't thank you enough for sharing. I mean, congratulations on all your successes. Being a millionaire at 31, everyone, I think Adam could probably make a list of 2,000 people that he knows that would want that. So Adam, do you want to ask Ciji anything else, since this is your world? And
well, I'd just like to thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. As far as questions, no, I think you covered everything. I mean, you and I have a lot in common. This whole feast or famine business that we're in, where I'm working all summer to pay for my winter, I've had it. I'm done. And again, I can't thank Robin enough for sticking with me over the past year, because like I said, I got in it in February of last year, and by September, man, I'm burned out. Labor Day comes, I'm burned out, and she helped me make it all the way to Crystal Executive. And at that point, I was like, okay, I've had enough. And but she kept with me, man. Thank you, Robin. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And Ciji, I know you have to go do another call, so I really, really can't thank you enough. And honestly, I'm inspired all over again by your story, and I know that we can help so many people just by sharing this video and just telling them that it's anything's possible. It's just clear intention and figuring out what you want, and it's not necessarily the path most traveled, but your own path that you want to follow. So I'm gonna let you go, and Adam, I'm just gonna keep you on because I really want to make this recording. I want to share with everyone that we're going to be sharing with your story as well. So, I know we've talked about this many times, but I don't think that, maybe some people that in your world, know your whole story. So, can you tell me a little bit about, how you got into the bartending world, and, a little bit about your aches and pains that go along with it? So,
yeah. Well, how I got into the bartending world. I used to play professional baseball right out of high school. I played 3 years of professional baseball, a little bit with San Diego and then a little bit with Tampa Bay. And my body couldn't keep up. I got hurt, so I got released. And then I got my first bar gig right after that. And I worked my way up from bar back to bartender, and I've been doing it for the last 20 years. And I'd say in the past 5 years, I've been looking for something different, something that would not only supplement my income but then possibly take it over, because I'm 41 now, and the writing's on the wall. So last year, my brother introduced me to Isogenics, and he knows that I've always looking for something to sink my teeth into business-wise. And so I tried out the product, and then my wife tried out the product, and we both loved it, and we both thought everybody else would love it too, as long as they just gave it a shot. And we got a whole lot of people to give it a shot, and they're loving it. And now I can see, the light at the end of the tunnel. We're making enough money to make a mortgage payment each month. And this is just a supplemental income. This is extra income, so it's huge. And I can't wait to be asked to do a call like this, just like Ciji did.
Right. And I know that, you guys are in a tough situation because, like you said, it's feast or famine. So you're working all through the summer. And so you're living in a resort town, but you don't get to enjoy it.
You're exactly right. And I should have tapped on that. But I mean, we live in a beautiful town. We live at the beach. But from St. Patrick's Day until Labor Day, we really can't enjoy it. I mean, we have a very short window to make a lot of money to pay for our winter. And, it's like the squirrel that gathers all the acorns that he can and stuffs it in a tree, because, we know what's coming. And we got about 100 days to make a lot of money. So this is where Isogenics fits right in with us. I mean, we're passionate about it, and we want people to succeed, and we want people to feel better. I mean, my wife woke up one of the first mornings that she was on Isogenics in tears. I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "This is the first time in about 15 to 18 years I've woken up rested." You know, she dealt with chronic fatigue syndrome her entire life. I'm not saying Isogenics cured it, but it certainly helped it. You know what I mean? And we have so many other people that are in the same boat that could really use this product and could certainly use the extra income.
Well, and so you've been doing this for about a year now. So, you know, in 2 months, we'll expect you to pop like Ciji. So you.
Oh yeah. I grab that timeline. I'll go 2, 3, 4, just like that.
Well, I would like you to share, because a lot of people are like, I'm way too busy. There's no way I can fit this in my life along with everything else I'm doing. You're married. You've got 2 small girls at home. You've got a lawn care business. You've got your full-time gig as a bartender, and now you're doing this. So tell people what it is that you're doing and kind of, you know, how easy it can be.
Well, okay, yeah.
You do the information there.
I am a very, very busy guy, especially in the summertime. I do bartend at the busiest bar on the East Coast, number 10 in the country, and we literally have 100 days to make all our money. So I do that 4 nights a week in the summertime. I have a full-time company up in Adam Lawn Care. I do that during the day. I've got 2 little girls. I've got a wife. I've got, you know, I do palm trees in the spring. So yeah, I'm super busy, but everybody's on social media all the time anyway. And you literally can do it with your thumbs. You can do Isogenics with your thumbs. I mean, if you got some spare time, you just use your thumbs. You know, hey, so-and-so, I saw you liked my post that I put out there the other day about, you know, losing weight or feeling great. Can I call you or something like that? I mean, if you've got a couple extra minutes and 2 thumbs or even 1 thumb, you can do this.
You remind me of that. I think we should do a thing. Who's got 2 thumbs in a successful network marketing business?
Right,
this
exactly.
Guy,
this guy.
right?
Right.
Yeah. You've done so much work on social media, and I just want to touch on our START program that Isogenics has, because the START program is geared towards 18 to 35-year-olds, and we've got more 6-figure income earners coming through our START program than I think you know, any other network marketing company, because we have ambassadors. Ciji is a START ambassador. She's 31 years old. She might be 32 now, but basically, you know, when she started, she was in her late 20s, and we really want to show Gen Y, you know, what's possible and how easy it is to, again, create an extra stream of income for your family. And this, what we want to share with people is, this is not about you having to come in here and be successful and do this and make $1 million. It's not about that. It's about supplementing your income so that, you know, they say that $500 a month for most families is the difference between being stressed about finances and not being stressed about finances. And I know that we can easily show so many people how to fill that gap of $500 and then some. While, you know, you talked about your wife losing 40 pounds and how she woke up crying. And I know that we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonials of people whose lives have been changed with these products. And, you know, as bartenders, I mean, I know that's who we're going to be targeting, you know, this phone call, bartenders and waitresses. I mean, it's a tough job. It's a tough job on your body. It's a tough job it's really hard to get that high nutrition in when you're working double shifts, you know?
Yeah.
So being able to drink a protein shake, like Ciji said, I mean, how many people are looking for what we have, and just even that protein shake to just get them through their shift? And then don't get me started on the e-shots and the ionics and all the other amazing products that we have. So, you know, it's just crazy that we've got all these solutions all in one big bundle and that we can share with people so easily. And Dawn, I just want to see if you wanted to add anything else to this, because we're going to wrap up this call. We're coming up on a half an hour, and I really want to keep it short, tight, and sweet, so that when we can tell people when they're watching it, how long it's going to be for them.
No, I thought you did a really fantastic job, and I love the questions that you asked, Ciji, because, I mean, she's real, right? Like, she's the real deal. She's young and didn't know what she was doing, and she was a little bit lost, and I thought you did a really good job understanding her story. And she's like she had no experience doing this. She had no nutritional background, no sales experience, no network marketing experience. Just a really clear vision of what she didn't want her life to look like, right? That's what I got. Like, She would have done anything. She would have gone and stood in traffic to not do what she was doing anymore.
Yeah, and to touch on that point of her not having experience in network marketing, but the business that we are in, and I say we because this is geared towards the hospitality industry. We see thousands of new people every day, and we work with hundreds of different people every year, and the opportunity is literally right next to us. They're either next to us, working next to us, or they're in front of us. And we've got a lot, I think, a better advantage than most people because they're coming to us. We don't have to go to them. They come see you smiling and looking good and feeling great and drinking your shake when it's 100 degrees out and you're slammed, in the weeds. Hey, what are you drinking? Well, I don't have time to tell you right now, but give me your number or Facebook name or whatever, and I'll get in touch with you.
Absolutely. It's so true. It's so easy to just, share the product and share the business. So I just want to let everyone know that Adam's at Secrets in Ocean City, Maryland. That's where you can go find him if you're looking for more information on isogenics. And I plan on, using this. I really want to share this video with as many people as possible. So if you're watching this video and you're interested in the opportunity, please contact the person who sent it to you. Or Adam, what's your email address? Oh, you're muted.
My email address is adam32876@gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, I know Ciji, I'm going to send her a nice thank you because I really, really think that her story is just so impactful. It's so real. I love, love, love that she wasn't an overnight success because that's not real. That it happens, but it doesn't happen to everyone. So,
but boy, when she took off, like you don't know what those numbers mean. When she said 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, all in the span of a year, right?
Yeah.
So 1 star means you're making about $500 a week, right, Robin?
yes.
2 star would be $1,000 a week. 3 star would be $2,000 a week. 4 star would be $3,000 a week, right? Yeah, 4 star. 5 star is
$5,400 a week.
Huh?
5 stars, $5,400 a week.
$5,400 a week plus, right? That's just the basics. That's not all the bonuses and the PIBs and all the whatever bonuses. So 5 star, 54, 6 star.
And she maxed it out in a year, which is $13,500 a week.
Now, just so everybody understands what they are saying, they're saying per week. This is not per month. This is per week.
No, per week. Per week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think hopefully we've made our point. It's easy. It's fun. You feel great. You look great. It's so simple to do on social media.
And if you have 2 thumbs, I was just going to say, if you have 2 thumbs, you're in.
And we've got the training. We've got the team. We've got the experience. We've got the talent. Say yes. Say yes and just say to a new life.
Very good.
Bye, everyone.
See y'all.